Hello and welcome to NerdVsWorld, episode 33, Nerd Fidelity. On this week's show, we've got Facebook fucking with your news feeds, we've got Constantine Can't Smoke, there's a collection of new shows we've been watching which we think you should watch too, and we have an awesome nerd adjudication question to answer for you.
And for all those who don't know already,
I'm Brendan.
I'm Spindles.
and I'm Adi.
Good save, sir.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
Wow.
That saved us the hassle of having to go back and re-record all of that introduction.
Yes.
33 episodes. You'd think I'd have to do it by now, wouldn't you?
No, we know you can't.
Every episode's a wing and a prayer. Cool. So,
What are we going to start off with then, guys?
well, the big furore this week, if you can call it that, is the results of a Facebook experiment.
Yeah.
Where they've been manipulating our news feeds to bombard it with either negative or positive content to see how that affects the content you create.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I say our news feeds, I of course mean the news feeds of 658,000 people, which is a small percentage of the total Facebook users.
Do we actually know what the selection criteria of them was?
They had to be English speakers.
Just English
That
speakers.
that was the main criteria.
But there was no geographic, demographic.
Randomly selected and fucked with.
As far as I know, and I've read the actual official academic paper for it, yeah, it was just, they had to speak English. That was the main prerequisite for being involved. And they weren't given any full warning. They said that the data usage falls under the agreement that you agree to when you start Facebook.
Indeed.
Apparently, yes, it does. It is covered under Facebook's terms of service and privacy, etc. So they didn't break any rules.
No.
They also said that at no point did anybody actually look at content going onto the pages. It was all scanned through word recognition, and it was told to look for certain
Upbeat and downbeat.
yeah, certain positive or negative words and filter accordingly to certain people. And unsurprisingly, they found that people exposed to predominantly negative comments had an inclination towards posting negative comments themselves, which they called emotional contagion, which I guess is Facebook speak for empathy. I'm not sure, but
I don't know. How do you feel about the whole thing?
I'm always very interested with how we're being affected culturally by the media we use. I mean, on the show, we're very interested in how it's changing how we consume media. But there's loads of stuff that goes along with the ease of life we're provided by digital services. So, to try and have a sort of experiment is kind of okay, I guess. I mean, it didn't show anything I wouldn't have expected it to find.
No.
I'm thinking, if I'm around negative people in a real-world situation, I tend to be more negative. So I'm not entirely sure why they needed to do it.
No.
That's my only issue. Is like, well, it's common sense, really.
Yeah. It's something you already know.
Yeah.
It's stuff that's been done by psychiatrists for hundreds of years almost. Yeah. So it's nothing new. It didn't seem that important to actually have that kind of conflict. Or was it a corporate thing to say we're going to do this to everybody and fucking affect the whole world? You know, it's weird in that kind of way.
If you were to be overly cynical about it, you could say that perhaps this is a precursor to much more advanced manipulation and control of people. Which is why in my Facebook status about it, I was all about Mercerism and buster friendliness of it all, which is the mind control aspects of Do Androids Dream.
Indeed.
Which is again all about manipulating people through emotional manipulation.
Yeah.
But I saw the results. I was like, well, interesting. Not a massive surprise, but
indeed. So what was the actual?
I think
what is their what was their statement purpose for doing such an experiment? Is what I'm.
Their abstract for the experiment was to see if they could identify emotional contagion, which is what they use. And I'm using bunny rabbit ears air quotes for that. Emotional contagion is the phrase, which they found.
Yeah.
I think the outcry is perhaps disproportionate to the actual incident because people are assuming that Facebook have actually read everything that's going onto your wall and chosen what to show you and what not. They haven't. They've filtered it. So they've still had control of what you've seen, but they've not had control in such an invasive way as some of the clickbait headlines have been suggesting.
Well, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I really don't care about it. In all honesty, I'm really not fussed by it in the slightest. I guess my only concern with it is that you miss out on posts that you should be seeing because of filtering, and I guess that's just been my problem with Facebook recently anyway, but that's more in terms of kind of posting stuff on pages and and so forth, and the fact that your reach is so small unless you pay for stuff. But I don't know, I can't see the application for it unless you get a bunch of companies going, oh, Facebook, here, we'll pay you loads of money to make this group of people happier.
Yeah, to me it just seems an inane experiment for no obvious reason to me.
Yeah, it's not shown anything that you wouldn't expect to see in a normal.
Indeed.
I think a lot of the reactions to it are the typical things that happens whenever Facebook does something. It's a knee-jerk.
Yeah.
Well, we don't actually understand what they've done, but obviously they're sat there gathering all of our information and going to sell it to everyone in the world who just wants to pay for it and control us.
So now's the time to get naked if you want to become famous via that route.
Well, unfortunately that won't work. Facebook will just block you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indeed, but that's unless they change their terms of service. Again, and not notify you, and then there'll be an uproar about that.
Yeah.
It's cyclical. And it's just down to people's fundamental misunderstanding of how the technology works, and thinking that it, as you say, that a person is sat reading everything that you do and choosing whether it goes on there, which would just be completely impossible to do. You wouldn't be able to get that amount of people sat reading every potential post that comes through and go, yeah, that one's a bit that one's a bit more positive, that one's a bit more negative.
Bit of a moaning mini there.
Yeah,
let's not do that. Let's just go by the emoticons that they put at the end.
To be honest, I have my own filters. If I look at my newsfeed and I see someone who's just being overly moaning for the sake of being moaning, unfollow.
Wow, it's easy, huh?
It's so simple.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
But yeah.
I just ignore everybody and it's great.
I don't know. I mean, I think I might have like slightly more of a knee-jerk reaction if one day like my entire newsfeed is just filled with like fluffy kittens. I might well turn homicidal.
Yeah. I think you'd be
remember that.
You'd be justified.
Post. Oh, more fluffy
damn
kittens.
It, more fucking kittens. We all know the internet is powered by cats, but really, that's enough.
It will happen. And we can PM you as well if you unfollow.
It might happen sooner than you think. Post a wall.
But then, of course, there was the other big internet scandal of the week, which was the Peter Dinklage did not meet Grumpy Cat.
No.
It was Photoshop, people.
No shit, really? Fuck me, you didn't realise from the photograph.
Of course I did.
Yeah.
No, not you. I was being generic to the public, not
but
you specifically. Wow.
Most people will repost something on Facebook without ever checking sources.
Oh, God,
without ever checking.
Did it once, but you collared me.
Yeah. The thing that gets me is the Back to the Future date one. That's
that one. Yeah.
Oh, that one keeps coming.
Haven't we spoken about this before? Because it's my concept of spontaneous anonymous forwarding syndrome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is what affects people and used to with email chain letters. Like, forward this on to 10 people. All right.
I'm waiting towards the end of October next year to see if anyone actually does it on the actual
on the correct date.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the one that's going around at the moment, which is really bugging me, is I bet you never saw this in Back to the Future. When you see what you missed, it'll blow your mind. And it's the fact
Twin Pines versus Lone Pines.
It's like, well, if you missed that, you've kind of missed the point of Back to the Future.
Yeah.
But yeah, just go.
Yeah, there's no mind blowing there, just lots of, we knew.
Yeah, just, you know.
Really? You didn't? Perhaps you should stop watching sci-fi.
It's called cause and effect. But yeah. That's what this game. More on and following.
Go back to your scary movie 5. So all in all, a big furore over pretty much nothing.
Yeah, it's been the knee-jerk reactions to it that have just made me just sigh inwardly.
It's been an interesting study in internet reaction, as most of these things are. But,
even in mainstream media reaction, like the BBC reports on it as well. It's just like it's not even 1% of the Facebook user base. It's such a piddlingly small number in terms of how many active users there are on Facebook. Yeah, and it's all done on filters.
Yeah.
No privacy has actually been invaded. You have been manipulated if you were part of the experiment. But yeah, that's about the extent of it.
Yes.
But yeah, the whole filtering stuff by what you see as a business and a page, that is annoying. Because
That is really
as we were saying before the show,
Yes, it is.
we have like 700 and so likes on the Facebook page from NerdVsWorld, but unless we spend money to push or promote posts, we perhaps get an organic reach topping 100,
Yeah.
which is just not.
It doesn't.
Not right.
It doesn't actually purvey it. Even there was somebody actually wrote a big long blog about it. It was a band that I was following wrote a big long blog all about it, and they actually paid several times for it, and they actually found out that it was only reaching between 100 and 300 extra.
Yeah, well, it depends
But
what level you promote it at.
They paid a full whack, and they went, right, promote this, whatever it was they had to put out, and it came out that under a quarter of their fans actually received the post that they paid for to send out to all of their fans.
Yeah, that's kind of shocking.
So that's pretty piss poor.
Yeah, it's Facebook's way of making money, I guess, and Twitter have gone the same way with sponsored posts and who to follow.
Yes, I was going to bring that in as a natural progression to that. Have you noticed this new thing as well of tweet, follow me, and we'll follow you rubbish that's going on at the moment?
Oh, there's tons of it. I mean, I
get
get at least 10 followers a week on Twitter who follow me, and it says, pay $10 and get 5,000 followers, and then within a day they drop off my list because they get banned.
Yeah.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about the paid one. I'm on about this new thing. It's been if you not subscribe to it, but if somebody's on the sort of list, as it were, it's a voluntary list. It's some B or C celebrity is started up, and it's gone like, anybody on this list, follow the previous 10 and cascade to boost your followers.
It's like a Twitter pyramid scheme.
Yes, it is, but without money.
Interesting.
And it's
you get paid in followers.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? And even Dog the Bounty Hunter was one of them that came up on my feed about it. I was like, wow.
Yay.
No, I've not had that.
But I have had some interesting follows. I haven't subscribed to it, but for some reason, somebody on that list is following me, and I keep getting these random people from all over the world following me at very different levels of, artists, authors, bloggers, and podcasters.
Yeah. I think the whole kind of world of social media
bizarre.
marketing is getting very, very blurry and very, very murky.
It is.
It was Social Media Day, International Social Media Day, on the 30th of June.
Was it?
Yeah.
That was well promoted. I didn't have a clue.
Neither did I.
How ironic.
What was I doing then? No, I don't know.
So I do have a list to a load of articles about how social media is affecting various aspects of life. So culture, business and marketing, history, and journalism. So yeah, I'll dig that link out. It's one site. I think all the reports are free until middle of August, I think. I'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
Because there's some interesting stuff in there.
Well, on an interesting and related note, it's tomorrow night, but on the podcast it will have been last night because it's going out on Friday. Yeah, tomorrow night I've got a meeting with the NUJ in Oxford, which is about making journalism pay in the digital age.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I'm meeting about that tomorrow night. So
Very
unfortunately this is going out too late to promote it and say come along to it, but I'm sure I had a great time and I'll tell you all about it.
Very interesting. I wouldn't mind.
Well, yeah, you're welcome to come along. It's an open thing, so if anyone wants to go along, then they can. Yeah, it's at 7 o'clock at. There's one of the pubs on St Aldate's. I can't remember what it was called. I think it used to be the Hobgoblin St Aldate's Tavern.
Yeah,
it's called now?
Yes,
cool.
something like
Yeah, that one. So it's in there, in the upstairs room.
that. Okay.
Tomorrow night / last night, if you're listening to this. Or it could be fucking weeks ago if you're listening to this several months from now when you finally got down to downloading the episode. Who fucking knows? That's the joys of the internet.
Suffice to say, if you're listening to this episode, you've missed it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There is absolutely no way you'll be listening to this and go, I fancy going along to that. Wonder when it is. Yeah. That's probably the worst bit of non-advertising I think I've ever done.
So
It was.
You can take that to the conference. And we're back.
Retrospective advertising. If you're listening to this in the year 2530 and you have a time travel device, you may want to go back to this one date in history. No, maybe not.
No.
Kill Hitler, go to NUJ meeting. Okay.
Okay, we're back in the room.
Almost. But yeah, I think at the kind of very high levels of kind of celebrity where people have got millions of followers on Twitter, that's where money is made by like the kind of people going, oh, I wear these shoes are fantastic, and that's where it pays to have that amount of followers. But conversely, you can have millions of followers and nobody actually reads your statuses, because if you've just kind of done follow everyone follows you and doesn't actually pay any attention to what you say, then it's pointless.
Yeah.
So you could have, I've seen accounts that have like hundreds of thousands of followers and they follow hundreds of thousands of people, which
But
I
they
find
have
very,
no
very
tweets.
difficult. Yeah, or kind of that they just don't say anything of any value.
Yeah.
So it's a bit weird that there is this kind of fake level of
Status.
Twitter following and of status of going, hey, I've got hundreds of thousands of followers. It's like, yeah, probably 90% of them are bots and you never say anything anyway, so what's the point? So there is a level of having to kind of ignore the static.
I think there's also an issue with old school marketers not understanding new school marketing.
That is very, very difficult, yes. Because
so it's dyed in the wool people who know of Twitter and they know vaguely how it works, but they know that people have used it for marketing, so why can't they?
Yeah.
But never really understanding the concepts of how it actually works.
Yeah.
You know, it's not enough just to have a Twitter presence.
No.
As in have a Twitter handle on your company account. You have to actually do stuff with it.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, the best people for doing stuff with their Twitter are Netflix. Those guys fucking
Yes,
rock
they are. Yeah.
on their Twitter interactions, they're amazing. But yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Anyways, off social media and on to something else. So the Constantine.
Yeah, he's been told he cannot smoke.
Yeah. Well,
you know what? I watched a leaked copy of the pilot.
Shh! Don't tell anyone.
So only 3 people listen to the show. It's fine. And that's us.
Yeah.
What about the people in 2537?
Yeah. Okay. Don't come back and tell me.
That's us cryogenically frozen and ready. Yeah. Defrosted.
I don't think even if I hadn't been told he'd been banned from smoking, I don't think I'd have noticed that he wasn't.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a difficult thing because it was a big part of the Keanu film as well, and it's something that the character does, but I don't think it defines him as a person that he smokes, apart from the kind of lung cancer plot line during the comic and also a bit in the film. It doesn't define him as a person, he just does it, and it's a product of being 1980s Britain when lots of people smoked. That's how it came about. It's just he was a kind of working class English person from that time period when everybody fucking smoked. Yeah. Everybody smoked and they drank beer. That's what they did. So, I don't think it's key to the character. I think it's interesting that there's a big deal being made of it.
Yeah.
And I personally, I still think the whole thing about smoking, it's all problematic because it gets really badly misreported. I heard Jack say the other day that it's like 1 in 10 people in Oxfordshire smokes, and I guarantee you it's a hell of a lot higher than that.
Yes.
So the figures are massively underrepresented. There's the whole stigma around it. I'm an ex-smoker now, but you know I don't.
Yeah, all three of us.
Yeah. I don't have anything against people who smoke. I see no problem with it at all. Fine, carry on, do it. Especially now with e-cigarettes coming in, that's awesome. You know, you can smoke inside again, or can you? Until they fucking do all these things and ban them inside and everything.
Well, it's e-cigarettes and mocktails now, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Yeah, there's a
E-pipe and mocktail, fucking A.
whole new generation of healthier addicts.
Metrosexuals.
Healthy addicts. Not health addicts. But
Haddicts.
Addicts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hashtag haddicts.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It's not necessarily integral to his character.
No, but I think it's interesting that the network has made that decision and is enforcing it. When, as you've said about another show.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's another show called The Leftovers, which has just started, and there is a cult in that show who don't waste their breath speaking. They're completely silent. They communicate by writing things down. They save all their breath for smoking, and they chain smoke. And it's like even like a passage on the wall. We don't smoke because we are chained. We chain smoke because we are free, something like that. It's like they just smoke all the time. And I was thinking, fucking hell. You know, NBC Universal saying no smoking in Constantine, but then the guys running The Leftovers have a major plot arc which is entirely about smoking. And the fact that talking about what's happened is not worth the breath it takes to say it, you might as well smoke.
Well, talking about sinister manipulation, then there's the fucking tobacco lobbyists in the States and the anti-tobacco lobbyists. That's where I assume that's where all this has come from.
Isn't there an
anti-lobbyist
lobby?
Yeah, there will be a political standpoint somewhere that goes, well, stop everyone from smoking. There's somebody else in a dark, smoky room going, make people smoke fags.
Yeah.
And then the people who are putting money into the programme and going, right, well, we'll only fund you if you make people smoke more fags.
Yeah.
Didn't know you want to smoke.
No?
No.
Didn't make you want to stop talking and just smoke?
No. To be honest.
Really? Damn it! The media doesn't influence you after all!
It would have been a really, really quiet podcast today if I just come here, sat down and smoked an e-cig for like an hour and a half.
A pod text.
Yeah.
Just a recording of you typing.
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not sure what to make of The Leftovers. The concept is interesting, and I think it will go somewhere.
Because the concept is what? There's like 2% of the population.
The global population disappears in an instant. And that's kind of unsettling in how it's revealed at the start, because if you have, I would say, trigger warning, kidnapping, sort of infant kidnapping trigger warning, because there's that at the start, which is just a bit weird. I was trying to think of the actual word. I can't think of it. But yeah, let's go. And I was surprised that for a HBO show it seemed to pull punches. It didn't go for the gut.
Also, they're not well known for being subtle with the programming.
It's unsettling. There's not much in the way of dialogue. There's not much in the way of explanation of what's actually going on. And there are some really fucking weird events happening. There seems to be like a time travel element to it, because there's a deer that seems to exist in states of alive or dead at various points in the main character's arc through the first story. So he encounters it almost out of sync with each other. So maybe that's something to do with the mystery. But yeah, essentially it's set 3 years after the time that the 2% have gone. This town are getting ready for a festival called Heroes Day, which is a parade to celebrate them. And when someone says they're not really heroes, I knew this one guy who got taken, he was an absolute dick, the mayor responds by saying, we're calling it Heroes Day because no one wants to go to a parade on we don't know what the fuck happened day.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting. I think it just needs to develop more. As pilots go, it didn't blow me away. but I would watch a second episode. So I guess it's done what it needs to do.
Sure.
It's kind of got the hooks in without really giving you anything to know about it.
Yeah.
See, I don't know how or what channel it was. I got hold of a full trailer for it, but from what I gathered of it, it's the trailer actually showed some bits that wasn't on the pilot.
No, I think the trailer's actually pretty much just cut from the pilot.
It is.
But, yeah.
It is okay. Yeah, because how it's perceived on the trailer isn't quite how you've put across the pilot, so gives a very different feel to it to me.
There are a lot more characters in it than you
Yeah.
realise. A lot more characters. It's a very busy programme.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I did see Constantine, and I won't say too much about it. I will just say that I think, we're fairly sure it's been premiered at San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah, because there's a big thing that all the kind of DC things are sharing the stage. So there's Arrow, Gotham, Constantine are all on stage together at Comic Con, and so I think they're previewing Constantine at Comic Con.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the announcement was made there that this is actually just a San Diego Comic Con special preview.
A whip preview.
Yeah, because I think there's some post work still needs doing. Some of the special effects are a little bit sketchy, but I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think all the trailers and all the photos and everything I've heard about it so far makes it sound amazing. So I'm looking forward to it.
So I loved it.
Yeah. Been a bunch of other new shows that I've been catching up on. Watched the whole first season of Penny Dreadful.
Still never got around to seeing that.
It's awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
It's Josh Hartnett, who I really like, ever since he did The Faculty, which is one of my favourite films.
Lucky Number 11 as well.
And Lucky Number 11, yeah. So he's in it. It's basically a mashup of every kind of 19th century Gothic horror.
Okay.
So it's a mix of vampires, werewolves, Frankenstein. So you have all those characters turning up. Dorian Gray's a character. You've got Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster. You've got Mina. The story is it's basically Timothy Dalton is the dad of Mina Harker.
Okay.
And is it Victoria? I can't remember the other one's name. And Mina's gone missing, and it has been taken by vampires. And so he's trying to find Mina, and that's the kind of driving force of the story. Is Timothy Dalton puts people together and uses his daughter. It's all very supernatural, and they kind of get together. Effectively, it's like getting the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen together.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
I was just about to say it sounds very much like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
You've got Dorian Gray, you've got Frankenstein, and you've got Josh Hartnett's. He's playing an American kind of cowboy gunslinger in like a carnival theme park type thing. He does the kind of gunslinging shows.
Bill Hickok stuff. Yeah.
But he has a kind of dark past that we don't know much about until the very end of the season, which I won't give away.
Sweet.
But yeah, no, it's a great show. Again, it's very, very dark, very gritty, nasty supernatural stuff.
The only thing missing is Dr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I don't think that's in there.
Maybe next season.
Maybe. Yeah.
It has been confirmed.
Billie Piper's in it as well. She plays a prostitute again.
Wow.
But an Irish one this time. And her accent's really pretty good, actually. I'm impressed with her accent.
I like Billie Piper. I think she's massively underrated.
Fair enough.
As a prostitute.
Well, the one I would say the one game to play during season 1 of Penny Dreadful is who's going to be Bride of Frankenstein.
Okay.
That's a game to play during season
Who's going to
1.
ride on Frankenstein?
Who's going to be Bride of Frankenstein? But technically, yes, who's going to ride Frankenstein? But not Frankenstein's
like
monster.
Yes.
But the cast in it's brilliant, and it's a really good show. It's nice seeing Timothy Dalton doing it's something I want to get onto. It's not something. It's kind of a bit more of gravitas in a role and a big role in a big TV show, like Crossbones. Have you seen Crossbones?
I haven't. No.
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 Crossbones is the tale of Blackbeard, so it's all kind of piratey setting, and it's John Malkovich as Blackbeard, who is basically kind of coming out of retirement and searching for something. I won't get too detailed plot, but he's basically suffering from visions and so forth and going a bit mad, and then he ends up running into a surgeon played by Richard Coyles. It's kind of half the cast of Going Postal,
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
over that.
Only in a kind of gritty, piratey drama. If you can get your head around that. So it's kind of cool. It's good kind of piratey action film, action movie, but action TV show. But yeah, again, it's really nice to have a kind of really big presence such as John Malkovich in a TV show.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Other new ones, The Last Ship,
It's on my that is on my to watch list.
which is
Not heard of.
it's a post-apocalyptic one about a Navy ship that is sent off to the Antarctic for 6 months looking for something, and then after 6 months they come back. They found something to do with a virus, and they come back to discover that 90% of the Earth's population has been wiped out by this virus.
Right.
Yeah, I have read about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know who the main character is that's playing the captain of the ship, but it's got a very season 1 Bab 5 feel about it, that the kind of captain's a bit wooden and a bit rubbish, but the supporting cast are great, because it's Adam Baldwin as the XO of the ship and Rona Mitra as the doctor who's dealing with trying to get the vaccine and the antivirus and stuff. And yeah, I've seen the first 2 episodes of that, and it's interesting. I'm not a big fan of the main captain of the ship character, but everybody else seems really cool, and the plot is interesting. Looks like the Russians are after the vaccine and stuff, so there's a lot of in post-apocalyptic, they go to Gitmo, like 6 months after the world's all gone to shit, and everyone comes back finding out who's dead, who's alive, and
Why?
yeah, and what's going on. So
Cool.
it's an interesting show. I want to see where it goes, but I kind of feel like they really need to replace that main character because he's a bit irritating.
Maybe they'll get him to walk the plank.
Perhaps if it was Crossbones.
That shit wouldn't acting.
Yeah. So what else? Oh, yeah, Murder in the First. Have you heard of this one?
Rings a bell.
This is from the producers of one that was like 1980s, 1990s called Murder One, and it seems to be a long story about it's Tom Felton who played Malfoy in Harry Potter. I'm sure he's going. I'm sure he must have sat down one day and gone, okay, I've played one of the most hated characters in like the sci-fi fantasy universe. How do I make it better? It's like, and the answer is he's playing a cross between Mark Zuckerberg and the guy who ran MySpace originally. So he's like a really sleazy computer programmer, like kid multi-billionaire who is basically getting put on trial for raping and murdering people.
So kind of, apart from the raping and murdering bit, kind of following his own life, really.
Well, he's actually quite a nice guy, because I saw he did the Golden Globes one year. He presented that on. He was part of the kind of talking heads on Sky one year. He seems really cool, because then he was in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He was one of the lab techs in that.
Yeah, he was.
And got killed and was generally annoying in that as well. So I don't know, I think he's just trying to outdo himself in terms of how much can people hate me. It's like if Joffrey went on to do something afterwards.
Well, he's quit. He's just
that's it, yeah.
quit.
It's like, I've fucking had enough now.
He's just like, there's no point.
Everybody hates me.
I've never
you
escaped in this typecasting. So
No.
fuck this shit.
But it seems like Tom Felton's embracing the typecasting and going, you know what, I'm just going to really...
Yeah,
piss
fuck it.
kids
If it
off.
makes me money,
I
who
forgot
gives a
that he
shit?
was in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He was.
Yeah, he's one of the lab
Because
techs.
the sequel to that's coming soon.
Yes.
Yeah, very
I'm
soon.
very much looking forward to it. Because despite what I felt going in, I came out of Rise of the Planet of the Apes really enjoying it.
I enjoyed it. I don't think the next one looks like it's going to be as good, to be honest.
Sequels very rarely are.
Yeah. Especially sequels of such an established trilogy, such an established mythology, trying to fill in the blanks in the middle. I think that's where it's having problems. I like the kind of Genesis idea of it, but I don't think they should have jumped in at the midpoint. I think they should have just gone full on Planet of the Apes many years later.
Yeah. We'll see.
Excuse me.
That's all right.
So that's Murder in the First is another one. Just keep an eye on that as well.
Cool.
That's quite an interesting show. They seem to have pulled a lot of people in from various different cop shows and so forth to be playing police and lawyers and so forth in that.
Cool. It's kind of good to see a strong summer season.
I actually went into it kind of going, not really got anything to watch. And then I think Emma went online and just found a bunch of stuff and went, yeah, there's all this. And I was like, really? Wow.
Yeah, 'cause I haven't checked any of my usual sites since finale time, end of May.
Yeah, because I would normally do a check on Metacritic of what's coming up in the summer season. But I think I just kind of got in the mindset of everything I liked in the summer season be cancelled.
I was just waiting for the strain. Del Toro's strain. I was waiting for that. Well, that's like 3 weeks away, I think. End of July, I think that is. So yeah.
Because then there's a bunch of stuff that's come back as well, like Rizzoli and Isles is back, minus the main the guy who killed himself last year. It's a bit of a shame. The detective, which oddly I was watching, rewatching Flash Forward the other day, and the episode that he's in is really sad now when you look back at it in hindsight, because he throws himself off the building to show that they can change things, and I found that really sad watching that. But
that's a series that deserves a second run.
Yeah, I mean, I've been rewatching it, and I kind of want to go out and just buy the book now and read it and find out what was going on. Because it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it certainly got cool towards the end.
Yeah.
But nice concepts.
Yeah, I thought so. Just say a shame that it didn't make it. I think that was one that suffered very much from network interference.
Yeah.
Because I think it got a huge build up, then it aired 10 episodes, then it went off for 6 months, then it came back. They changed a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I think part of the issue as well was it was marketed as being like the next Lost.
Yeah.
It was from the writers of Lost, and they brought you Lost, and it didn't do Lost type numbers in its first season. Yeah. So they went, oh, we'll scrap it. I don't think it did Lost season 6 type numbers in its first season. Yeah. So. But other shows coming back, Doctor Who's had an official date for the next season.
Yes, it has. And we're back with the Cybermen.
Yeah. Apparently they finished filming as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be 12 episodes straight through, no break.
Awesome, from August.
Yeah, which is what I've been dying for.
Will that run straight through then? Hang on, so August... so it'll be September, October, November. That'll take us through there. And then it'll be like a couple of weeks off and then a Christmas special.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Sounds about...
It's what it used to be.
Yeah.
The whole mid-season break thing really started to annoy me because there wasn't enough of a season
for it
to justify a mid-season break.
Yeah, it's too short.
Yeah.
Especially considering historically it ran all the time and just didn't stop.
Yeah, it was 5 or 6 3 or 4 part stories.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that. Looking forward to see what Capaldi does.
Yes, very much so. So it's a feature-length first episode.
Yeah, so that'll be an hour and a half.
I believe, yeah.
The little teaser trailer for it was quite interesting.
Yeah.
The Am I a Good Man?
Yeah.
Although, if you listen back to it, I couldn't help feeling that he sounded like Tom Baker when I listened to it.
Okay.
I couldn't hear his accent. I could just hear Tom Baker.
Well, maybe he is. Because a lot of the influences in the past couple of Doctors have been back to kind of Third Doctor and Fifth Doctor.
Well, Second Doctor, really.
Second. Sorry. It's Patrick Troughton.
Yeah.
Sorry, and Peter Davison. So it's the kind of runabouty, bit more madcap.
Yeah.
They've kind of been a combination of those two, so it'd be interesting to take it back to a more Tom Baker-y type.
Yeah, but that was what stuck with me from the teaser was, is that Tom Baker? Is he channeling Tom Baker there?
No, that'd be cool.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah.
And then a kind of last bit of TV-related news
is of course Strictly coming back.
No, it's not Strictly coming back.
Really? Sorry.
No, it's American Gods.
Okay, fair enough.
Being picked up by Starz.
So Starz picked up from HBO, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because we chatted before about that. And
Yeah, because it was due to be... It went into development well over a year ago. because they're due to do season 1, which follows the kind of plot of the books and then continues on afterwards.
Yeah. Because he
Into
spoke
season
about
2.
that at the Q&A
Yeah.
back in Bath last
Yeah,
year.
So that was on the cards then, but obviously it looks like HBO have
Just passed.
they've passed on it. So no idea why. Well, to be honest, I think I do know why, because it's not quite as kind of gory and in your face as most of the HBO stuff, like your True Blood and things like that, and Game of Thrones.
If you watch The Leftovers, it was HBO, that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying punches pulled. There's
Right.
not much in terms of gore. There's very little in terms of TNA as well. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, I think HBO have spent all that on Game of Thrones.
They've expended their tit and ass
Yeah.
budget for the year.
Yeah, they probably got to the point where they're sort of like, you know, blind to it now. They're just numb to it now.
Boob blindness.
Yeah, so we cannot top
No such thing.
Oberyn getting his head crushed. So let's just not bother, guys. Let's just
That's
call,
it. It's called quits.
Let's call GG Internet.
We'll go home now.
Yeah, but yeah. So American Gods, that's been one that's been on the cards for a while. So getting the push, finding the different network.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. That's as much as in a couple of weeks' time, the Neil Gaiman game coming out.
Yes.
Which looks amazing. Can't wait to get that. It's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be more of a kind of interactive story than game. So I'd say it's probably more point and clicky adventure, because it's listed on Steam as being casual indie adventure.
I'm well up for that.
It's called Wayward Manor, and it appears to be following the story of a family who live in that house, and you unlock stories and bits about them. And
Yeah, I'm well up for that. I've been playing a game called Pocket Mine on my phone at the moment, which is just like taking over my life. It's just button bash and dig as deep as you can.
Is it Minecraft, is it?
No.
Pocket version. Alright, so it's not Minecraft Pocket Edition.
No, it's
Right.
You play a character and your goal is to dig as deep as you can in the mine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's as thrilling as it sounds.
Awesome.
But it's
Wow.
fucking addictive.
I've wrapped
I
up
dig.
something close to 50 hours on XCOM in the last week. I finally got hold of XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Nice.
And yeah, it's awesome. It really does take me back to the days of playing Terror from the Deep and XCOM UFO back in the 90s. It's hours of turn-based strategy, alien mashing. It's great.
Awesome.
And it was a princely sum of like $4.99 in the Steam sale.
Yeah, Steam sale is just like one of those things I have to stay away from. I'm on a tight budget and I know it's a sale, but it's like that's the danger. You go, oh, $3.99 will normally be 20 quid.
I've been waiting for it since it came out, because it was like, as much as I want it, I can't justify spending 40 quid on it at this point. So, a couple of years later and spending a £5 on it and getting at least 50 hours worth of gameplay out of it in a week.
Yeah, it's pretty good value.
I think that's
Pretty good
definitely
value.
worth it.
Cool.
And I finally got around to playing Arkham Asylum as well, which is pretty cool. Enjoying that.
Sweet.
So yes.
Yeah.
There was one last bit of TV news, wasn't there, about Community?
Yes, yeah. Yahoo have come to the rescue.
Yahoo!
Given a Community a 6th running.
See, I've never seen Community.
Neither have
Have you not?
No.
No.
I thought you introduced me to it.
No.
Wow.
Most definitely not.
You guys need to watch it. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's been on my list of shows to watch, but as
Definitely.
anyone who listens to this show knows, we watch.
Fuckload of stuff. Yeah.
So it's like,
I think we've just
it's
read
Chevy
off at
Chase,
least
for
8
fuck's
new
sake.
seasons we've been watching in the last week.
yeah. So
It's Chevy Chase for fuck's
Yeah,
sake.
but it's now-
being awesome.
yeah, the fact that it's got 5 seasons already makes it difficult for me to watch it.
Yeah.
It's like I've been mainlining House on US Netflix. So in the last 2 and a bit weeks, I've watched up to halfway through season 8 of House.
Right.
I've got very little else done in my life in the last 2.5 weeks.
Well, make that the next one on your
What's
list.
the disease that they always say it is and it never is?
Lupus.
Lupus, that's it.
Yes.
It's never lupus.
Yeah. So Yeah.
Oddly enough, I've been rewatching Scrubs again as well, and all the same stuff happens in Scrubs, but you just don't pay as much attention to it as in House. People go, "Oh, it's lupus," or "It's not lupus," and they have all the same conversations they have in House, but it's just masked under all the comedy in Scrubs. It's great.
There's even an episode where they piss take House directly.
Yeah.
Perry Cox drops paint on his leg. And that's that's on Netflix. So I'm just going to go watch that once House is done.
Yeah, I think I'm up to season 3 on Scrubs now. I've got to stop rewatching Scrubs. I just get stuck in a loop of watching Scrubs all the time because it's great.
It's hilarious. It's brilliant.
So I'm all out on the Netflix and Amazon. I'm looking for my next fix. Apart from reruns, I want my next series.
I think they should rename it to Next Fix.
Yeah, they should.
Pay attention, Netflix marketers.
Next Fix, yeah.
I've just gone to the indie section of Netflix.
Yeah, but you've got the American portal version.
On the UK Netflix.
Okay, cool.
On the PS3, I don't like changing it. I don't like rebooting the OP on my PS3, so that stays flat at UK. It's my laptop. I read through ZenMate to get US Netflix. But yeah, there's a film called Safety Not Guaranteed, a little indie film on Netflix, which I watched this week, which is about a man who knows how to time travel but works in a grocery store. It's kind of a sweet film that maybe is a bit too heavy-handed with the metaphor of having someone to travel through life with, but it's well worth the watch just for the whole cutesy indiness of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I watched a film that was like, oh my god, this is fucking horrific, but I'm gonna have to fucking watch it because I've started to anyway. Starbuck from the new...
Oh god, The Last Sentinel.
Yeah.
I turned it off after half an hour.
The Last Sentinel. Wow.
I think I turned it off before she even turned up because I was just like, this is fucking dire.
Yeah. Oh wow.
No, it's bad.
Oh mate, it was foul. Fuck me, that was what?
It's bad.
And, oh, there's ode to... Oh, there's ode to every kind of...
on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's on Love Film, well, Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime as well. But
it's on there, but yeah, I lasted just under half an hour, I think, and was like, this is fucking painful. I can't watch it.
It's got smacks of Apex in there, it's got smacks of Star Wars in there.
It feels
it's got
a bit like
fucking
Stargate.
Stargate, fucking every fucking sci-fi thing you can do, they've thrown it into one. Yeah.
It's basically like a bunch of kids who are soldiers get sent off to fight some MacGuffin war.
No. So there's some Starship Troopers.
No, there's no. No, I would say it's more. Oh Christ! What was that one with Kurt Russell in it?
Escape from LA?
No, later, much later than that.
Soldier?
Yeah.
So the lesson here is if you try and hitch your wagon to too many cars, it's just going to get pulled apart.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. Well,
Stretch to the four winds.
I might save that for one of my drunk tweet sessions then.
It was almost physically painful to watch.
There's even a Darth Vader fucking lifting his helmet off moment and going, I'm good, really, this is my family, you've killed them all.
So did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I couldn't. And believe me, I've sat through some real sci-fi tripe in the years.
Oh, come on, Apex was pretty fucking awful.
The third one. Apex is charming. I like Apex. It's charming sci-fi.
I've sat through awful horror films. I've sat through Wrong Turn and Cherry Falls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they were fucking awful. Yeah.
I've had to real test some dire films too. I had to watch The Pacifier. That's
dear God.
That's how much working in the cinema.
Go home and watch Tooth Fairy. Fucking Pacifier. Go home and watch the Tooth Fairy.
See, working in the cinema was the best job I ever had, apart from
that's your cosplay next year.
Watch The Pacifier.
Fair enough. Well, I saw Maleficent the other week, which was kind of cool.
Ooh,
yeah, I enjoyed that.
I have heard very good things
I really
about
quite
it.
Enjoyed that. It's an interesting take on the story, and I've got to double check this, but I don't know whether it is him or not. But I have a sneaky feeling that the kind of Prince Charming-y type character, well, not the Prince Charming one, but the one that Maleficent falls in love with, I think is the guy from District 9 and Elysium.
Sean Copley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, right, because I was like, I fucking recognise that voice, but he looks completely
Murdoch
different.
from 18.
What?
Yeah, he was
Murdoch. He was Murdoch in 18.
Howling by Murdoch in the 18 film.
That was Dwight Schultz.
No, in the film.
In the
film. Sorry, the remake.
Yeah, the remake film.
Did I see the remake?
Yes, you did.
Did we watch it at mine?
Yeah.
All right.
I think
Yeah,
we
he's
both kind of
Murdoch
fell
in
asleep
that.
at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
It was one of those.
He's a great actor.
He's,
Oh,
yeah,
God,
he's
yeah.
phenomenal. Yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
His character in Elysium was the creepiest bad guy of that year.
Yeah, he was
One of
brilliant.
the creepiest bad guys
Yeah.
I've seen in a film in a long
Yeah,
time.
he was excellent.
Every film I've seen him in, he plays a completely different fucking character.
Yeah.
Accent,
Yeah.
phenomenal.
I think I saw a poster the other day with him on, and it was one of those memes that said, "Who would have thought the most sane role I would have had would have been playing a madman in the A-Team?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Maleficent came in for some real scrutiny for the whole fact that the taking of her wings, and Jolie herself has come out and said that it was an analogy for abuse and rape.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah. And yeah, it was.
And a lot
The
of
whole film very much felt like that. It was about, male dominance and power over that, yeah.
I've spoken about Movie Bob before. He's a reviewer that I really admire. I respect his work and his opinion as well. He actually reviewed Maleficent, gave it a pretty good rating. He spoke about that particular incident in depth. And he actually went back and rewatched it a second time, not as a critic but as a fan.
Yeah.
Just to watch other people's reactions to it. And so he has like his Movie Bob reviews, and then he has the big picture, which is he talks about whatever he wants to talk about once a week on this thing. And one week he did that. He went back and he talked about that.
Yeah, I really quite enjoyed it. I thought it was an excellent retelling of an old tale from a very, very different standpoint, and I thought it was really well done. Really enjoyed it. So yeah.
Does that bring us to our nerd adjudication for this week?
I think it
It
does.
does.
Yeah. Well, you can intro this one, sir.
Okay, yeah. So we've got an absolute blinder of an adjudication on this week's show. Actually sent in by one of my students, and it is a reworking of a question that was on a job application for an ice cream parlour here in the University City of Oxford. So
Yes, you have to have a degree to get a job in an ice cream shop.
the original question was, if you were travelling at the speed of light in a car and turned on your headlamps, what would happen? Now, obviously, being an audio student, she switched it to audio. And she sent me through the question. So the question is, if you were driving in a convertible faster than the speed of sound and tried to talk to your passenger, what would happen?
I think we have the answer.
Nice.
I can take this one if you want.
Well, you can start.
There's many a theorem.
Okay, so it will depend on a number of factors. Obviously, it is possible to talk at the speed of sound, fast and speed of sound, in certain situations. For example, if you're travelling on Concorde, which went faster than the speed of sound, you can have conversations inside the pressurised cabin. That's a no-brainer.
Yep.
As long as the air in the convertible was at rest compared to the air outside the convertible, which you're travelling through faster than the speed of sound, you would be able to have a conversation. As soon as the air inside the convertible was mixed with the air outside, that would change.
So it being a convertible means that it's not possible.
Yeah, if the roof is down and there's no hard seal, then obviously, you wouldn't be able to have a conversation. However, there is something that could happen. Your passenger could hear you, but in order for them to hear you, they would have to be sat directly behind you,
Okay.
because the audio would travel in a cone backwards from your mouth, so they'd have to sit behind you. They would not hear much other than perhaps...
No.
Yeah, it would be lost in the sonic boom, but they would hear you because they would be, relative to the source of the sound, at a place where they could hear it. They could never respond to you, or they could reply to you, but you would never hear their response, because being in front of them, you would be travelling faster than the sound that they could make.
What about if the person sat in the back is Banshee?
Nicely done. And
Okay.
creates that bubble.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look at how do Banshee's powers work.
Well, it's sonic power, so
Okay.
it's like sonic booms and sonic waves is what it projects.
If he could, he can project sonic booms, can't he?
Yes.
So in order to project a sonic boom, he has to have projected an audio that then travels faster than the speed of sound at certain
Yes.
So, yeah, I would say perhaps if the person behind you in the car was Banshee.
Because obviously it would be stupid if both of them were Banshee.
Yeah, you couldn't do it.
Honestly.
Yeah, and unless you're merging Marvel universes, you couldn't do it. But then, would the person in front be able to survive Sonic Boom from Banshee at close range?
Indeed.
Probably not, is my answer to that.
Possibly not. It would be a very short conversation.
To be honest, if you're travelling at a point where you're travelling faster than the sound...
Would you like a cup of tea? Yes,
right.
split.
You were on about the air pressure and things like that. What about if you were wearing helmets with a digital audio system built into it?
Again, it would have to...
Because that does change the pressurisation, and it is doable on a digital scale if you've got the feed correct.
This is the other thing we wondered about, because we talked this question through back and forth for a bit, and we were wondering, could you hear yourself?
Yes.
I wouldn't say you'd be able to hear yourself. You would be able to feel
the vibrations
of it
which is
going
what
out.
Oh,
I was on about, because there's setups that you can get that work on the vibration, which turn it into a digital
Throat
noise.
mics.
Yeah, throat mics.
Okay.
So if you had a throat mic within an integral thing with a digital cochlear thing, which would turn the vibrations into sound,
Okay.
is that possible?
I would say yeah.
I would say yes.
Because that's got nothing to do with
Actual sound.
With sound travelling through air.
Yes.
So if it's vibrations turned to digital audio direct from that,
Yes.
and then directly routed, then I would say perhaps.
That would be my...
That would be one way of getting around it. The problem...
Because I know that technology does exist and it is plausible.
Yeah. So the whole problem with sound in general is sound needs air to move in, because all we hear in terms of pitch, which is an entirely psychological concept of tone, is vibrations in the air. It's sound pressure, which is why we have sound pressure levels, because it's how the molecules are moving. Yeah, and when you fart, exactly. There's a lot more molecules moving than one of your farts than in the air in general, AD. But thank you for underlining the point, or rather, full stopping it, rather.
And of course, to continue the Banshee metaphor.
Okay, yes, of course.
If the driver was Jean Grey, and the passenger was Professor X, then it's fine. They can have a conversation.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Okay, so the answer.
Obviously, it wouldn't be Professor X driving because that would just be silly.
Yeah, because and it had to have a blue badge on the car as well, obviously. Yeah. Okay, so we've taken once again we've taken a pretty standard question and really fucked with it. But okay, so the answer, Evie, to your question.
Oh,
Hang on,
in there.
AD, yes.
What about a dolphin?
No, that's just too much.
Dolphins driving a car? Really?
No, but what if the dolphin was the passenger?
No.
Oh.
No. Now you've just ruined it. So
with a helmet.
Oh yeah, it's the helmet that was missing, right?
Dolphin with a throat mic.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's what is it? The dolphin from Johnny Mnemonic. Jones. There you go.
Fuck.
Jones driving a car because he's all hooked up to the side and stuff, so Jones could drive the car.
It's the dolphin from Sequest DSP.
Yes.
So Jones from Johnny Mnemonic and the
dolphin
from
from
Sequest DSP driving
a car.
Yes.
Faster than the speed of sound. Could have a chat.
Yes.
Wow. The thing is, you two don't have to, look this person in the face and say, sorry about that. So yeah, the answer is...
I apologise for nothing.
The answer is, what would happen is that in order for one person to hear the 10% directly behind them, they'd just hear the sonic boom, unless it was in a pressurised interior, in which case, it's completely separated from the air outside the car, they could talk normally. Unless, of course, they're Jean Grey and Professor X, in which case they communicate telepathically, or unless Banshee is one of the passengers sat directly behind, in which case she could speak to the person in front of them, but would probably kill them at the same time.
Yeah.
So, I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
I'm sure I think we've covered all bases there.
I apologise for nothing.
Never apologise, never explain.
Indeed.
So, yeah, that would have been a really good answer on an application. But yeah, only in Oxford, right?
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay. I think we're done for this week.
I think that about wraps us up
That's
for this
a
week.
fantastic way to end the show.
Marvellous.
We got any music?
Yeah. We'll put a track on. I'm not sure which one yet, but on my other show, on the WonkyCast, I interviewed an American post-rock instrumental guitarist called Xander Demas. That show will be going out hopefully next Monday.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll put one of his tracks on the end of it. I had a good chat with him over Skype the other week.
Awesome.
Talking about he's back in the studio recording a new album and stuff, and chatted a bit about kind of his influences and an old film called Crossroads, if you've seen that, which is
Yes.
Karate Kid plays the blues.
Yes.
I just thought.
But Steve Vai did both parts of that guitar.
With the head cutting battle at the end with Steve Vai.
It was actually Steve Vai playing against himself.
It was, yep. And then Ry Cooder doing the rest of the bits.
Indeed.
So yeah.
Cool.
If you've not seen
There we
Crossroads,
go.
you should watch Crossroads. It's
Okay.
an awesome film. It's about blues. It's about blues versus classical versus heavy metal guitar playing.
Sweet.
It was made in the kind of early 90s with Ralph Macchio in it.
Back when he was relevant.
Yes. Indeed.
Cool.
So yeah, I'll put a track on by Xander at the end of this one. Not sure which, but it'll be in the show notes.
Cool. So check the show notes for all details of what we've talked about.
Including character profiles of Banshee, Professor X, and Jean Grey, validating my claims about being able to hold conversations in a depressurised car.
Yeah.
Not forgetting the dolphin from DS9.
DS9?
Yeah.
DSV.
Nah.
Sequest
It's a special
DSV. Oh, is it? Well,
It's a sci-fi version.
When they watched DSV on the holiday.
Yes.
Wow. I just went too meta for my own good. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he now speaks Klingon.
Oh, that's definitely where we draw the line this week. Okay, thank you all for listening. I've been Brendan.
I've been Spindles.
And I've been 80.
Until next time, take care and be excellent to each other.